From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Tuesday morning. Monday was windy, but it was beautiful. Today is going to be calmer, and it's still going to be beautiful out there. But for this morning, we are seeing some reductions in visibility still for US Highway US Highway 12, also for Interstate 90. So up that way in the Cascades, take it slow and use the low beams. But for lower elevations, we're not seeing any fog for this morning, but we are tracking some cold temperatures below freezing in Yakima, pretty close to freezing for Hermiston and Pendleton. And then, of course, we're below freezing up in the mountains. So in those areas, could be a little frosty. Here is your day planner for today for lower elevations. By lunchtime, we're going to be up around 60 degrees, at least for the Yakima Valley, for the lower Columbia Basin, a little bit cooler in the foothills and in the Kittitas Valley, but up into the 60s come time for the peak of daytime heating. So again, seasonal to start this week will be warmer through the end of this week, but it gets more interesting on Friday and Saturday with some shower chances going up, a little bit cooler, and also more winds as we head into this weekend. I'll tell you who could see the windiest conditions coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Now, right now on Good Morning Northwest, a teen is dead after a weekend shooting in Yakima. Now a suspect is in custody, but we're learning about the investigation. Plus, a death initially reported as a suicide now being investigated as a murder in Pierce County. We have the latest. And later, the Pope's passing is being felt around the world and right here at home. How local faith leaders and community members are reacting. It's all on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now, Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good Tuesday morning and happy Earth Day. Thanks for waking up with us and joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott, and we do begin this morning with a follow-up on a homicide that we first told you about just yesterday out of Yakima. We can now confirm that a suspect is in custody following that deadly shooting that happened over the weekend. Deputies responded to the shooting Sunday on the 1500 block of South Keys Road. An 18-year-old was taken to Yakima Valley Memorial after being shot, and that's where he later died. Investigators identifying that man right there on your screen, 21-year-old Israel Barriga Vargas, as the suspect. He was on the run and surrendered at his home just after 2 p.m. yesterday. He's now in the Yakima County Jail facing second-degree murder charges. Anyone with any more information on this deadly shooting at this party in Yakima is asked to call the sheriff's office. And a Fox Island man is now behind bars after a death originally reported as a suicide was later determined to be a murder. Deputies responded early on April 20th after a 29-year-old man called saying that his girlfriend had taken her life. Well, when deputies arrived on Fox Drive, they found a 27-year-old woman dead at the scene. And after a thorough investigation, including forensics analysis, detectives found evidence that didn't align with a suicide. The man was arrested and is now facing second-degree murder charges and is being held at the Pierce County Jail. And investigators continue to look into the findings of a disturbing discovery in Yakima County. Police found human remains in a remote area while looking into a child welfare case in Sela. Officers first responded to a home on Spayers Road on Tuesday for a welfare check. A parent there told police that the child was living somewhere else, but that led investigators to a possible burial site near Kawitchi Mill Road. Washington State Crime Scene Response Team helped recover the remains. An autopsy is now scheduled for this week to confirm the identity. And police say there is no threat to the public, but several local and federal agencies are now involved. And a Yakima man has just been sentenced for sexually assaulting an intoxicated and incapacitated minor. According to these court documents we got our hands on, 20-year-old Darius Morningstar Speedus was sentenced to 6 years in prison. This came after he not only sexually assaulted a 16-year-old Native American girl, but then also filmed the assault, later sending the video to the victim. The sexual assault reportedly happened on the Yakima Nation Indian Reservation, where Speedus is also accused of providing alcohol to several teens. And a Washington man was just sentenced for his role in distributing fentanyl to the Tri-Cities area. 26-year-old Ricardo Cantu will now spend 9 years in prison for drug trafficking charges, including fentanyl-laced pills and methamphetamine. The Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, they conducted 2 controlled purchases of the methamphetamine and fentanyl from Cantu and also from another man, Julio Gaspar Iniguez. Both were armed, and their purchase total almost 2 pounds of methamphetamine and more than 3,000 fentanyl pills. Now, Gaspar will be sentenced on June 25th in Spokane. Well, there's now an open call for candidates to fill the vacant county coroner position out of Yakima County. They made the announcement Monday, just days after the former coroner had stepped down. Jim Curtis officially resigning last Friday, saying in a statement that he agrees to the terms of the resignation agreement. The GOP is now seeking qualified applicants to be considered for the role. Now, 3 nominees will be selected during the Yakima County GOP endorsement convention and coroner nominations meeting on Wednesday, May 14th. That meeting takes place at Yakima Christian Center on South 10th Avenue. Doors will open at 5:30. And candidates must live in Yakima County and be registered voters. Anyone interested can submit a letter of interest to the Yakima GOP Chairman, Matt Brown. 5:06 now, and Cadillac continues to grow in hopes to provide more services to the area. Hospital just breaking ground for its new Cadillac Clinic medical office in West Richland, located right on Keene Road. The clinic is set to be about 15,000 square feet and will have a capacity for about 10 primary care providers. Chief Medical Officer for the medical group at Cadillac, Richard Meadows, says that this new clinic is all about making health care more attainable.
If you don't have that access, things end up getting worse, and diseases progress, and people end up in the hospital when they don't need to. So it's just such a wonderful service that keeps people healthy and cuts down the cost of care.
Meadows says if everything goes as planned, the new clinic will be complete and open up within a year. Well, April is Autism Awareness Month, and one local business, Spectrum Studios, recently held a ribbon cutting for its brand new Empower Center for Growth. The center is all about building life skills, offering vocational training, and encouraging social development. Co-director Jim Pridemore says it's already making a big impact. He tells us the environment helps participants feel more comfortable and motivated when they're learning alongside peers and who understand their experiences.
That could be anything from computer repair to woodworking to artificial intelligence prompting. So it's really there to give them, to give our family a home away from home, so we can kind of get them out of the bedroom and get them interacting with each other and working with each other as a team.
Pridemore says in just 4 years, they've seen real progress among everyone involved. With growing interest in the programs being offered, there are about 25 spots available. It's 5:07, still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. The Vatican has now released details for Pope Francis's funeral. Coming up, how the world is preparing to say goodbye, plus how people right here at home are remembering his legacy. And giving you that live look outside this morning from our Bi-Mart camera in Yakima, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will be back after the break with your first alert forecast.
To me, Harlem is home, but home is also your body.
Last one, everyone.
I asked myself, why doesn't Pilates exist in Harlem? So I started my own studio. Getting a brick and mortar in New York is not easy. Chase Inc. has supported us from Studio 1 to Studio 3.
When you start small, you need some big help, and Chase Inc. was that for me.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Spring into fun. Join Mid-Columbia Libraries for Dia del Niño y los Libros, a joyful festival of children and books on May 2nd in Prosser and May 3rd in Cornell. Don't miss our highly anticipated spring book sale. Discover literary treasures at incredible prices for readers of all ages, April 30th through May 4th at the Kennewick Library on Union. All proceeds support library programs and services for our community. Visit midcolumbialibraries.org for more details.
To keep your home cool and comfortable all summer, your air conditioner needs maintenance this spring. Vance will inspect, test, and clean your AC so it's ready for hot weather. Don't take a chance. Call Vance.
Walla Walla Sweets Baseball has been a beacon of our community's spirit for 14 seasons. But behind every swing and every catch lies the question, where do our players call home during the season? The answer is simple. With you, our incredible host families. It's more than just housing a player. It's about becoming part of their journey. Watching our boys chase their dreams is incredibly rewarding. Become a host family and be part of something bigger than the game. Together, we are Walla Walla Sweets.
Gather the family and come on down to the 62nd Annual Parade of Gems, April 25th through the 27th in the Modern Living Building at the Fairgrounds. Go back in time as we present fossils of the Northwest and beyond. See demonstrations on gold panning, wire wrapping, lapidary, and more. Dozens of vendors will be offering rock and mineral specimens and jewelry too. There will be games, door prizes, and more. Doors open at 10 a.m. Come one, come all to the 62nd Annual Parade of Gems, April 25th through the 27th at the Fairgrounds in Yakima.
I did something terrible. What are you doing in my house?
You killed my brother, you...
New Girl Trapped, tonight on ABC.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. This morning it is a little chilly out there. In fact, so chilly that the National Weather Service in Pendleton has issued these freeze warnings in place for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys, also for the Blue Foothills of Walla Walla and Umatilla counties. This runs until 9 this morning, so hopefully last night you took all those necessary precautions to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing. We're below freezing for Cle Elum and Snoqualmie Pass, above freezing for Ellensburg and Vantage, and then in the Yakima Valley, below freezing for Yakima proper. For the rest of the valley, looks like we're above that 32-degree threshold. Then for the lower Columbia Basin, pretty much all of us above freezing except for Hermiston, and even there we're technically 1 degree above freezing, but cutting it pretty close. And then in the Blue Foothills, also 33 for Pendleton, right at freezing for Heppner, then below freezing for places like Cabbage Hill, Meacham, Ukiah, and the Battle Mountain Summit. So in those areas where it's either at or below 32 degrees, that's where you could run into a little bit of frost. Here's your coatcast for today for the Tri-Cities. Maybe a t-shirt would suffice at the peak of daytime heating in the sunshine. We'll have lots of sunshine for today, but I'm thinking for the most part, it's probably going to be a light jacket kind of day, but still very pleasant out there. Lots of sunshine. We'll have normal high temperatures for late April, and we're going to be trending warmer as we head into the next few days. I'll tell you just how warm we could be by the end of this work week, and that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. 12 minutes after 5, and in your national headlines this morning, the Vatican has released details for Pope Francis's funeral, and it's set to take place this Saturday in Rome. Excuse me. So the service will begin 10 a.m. Rome time. That'll be 4 a.m. Eastern. It'll be at St. Peter's Square, where thousands are expected to gather. Cardinal Giovanni Battista, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, will preside over the funeral. After communion, a final commendation and valediction will be held before the Pope's coffin is taken to St. Peter's Basilica. Francis will then be laid to rest there at the Basilica of Santa Maria Marge in Rome. And now news of the Pope's passing, of course, has sparked reaction around the world. Right here at home, our community speaking out as well. Tributes are pouring in, and local faith leaders are reflecting on his legacy and the impact that he had on the Catholic Church and beyond. Bishop Tyson from the Yakima Diocese says that they are praying for the next Holy Father in their masses and all around the world. Bishop Tyson saying there'll be a meeting of the cardinals in Rome to discuss the church. He also says the cardinals under the age of 80 will elect the new Holy Father. Within the coming days, he says the church will be having masses to remember Pope Francis, and they'll also be having a prayer, which is slightly different due to having no pope at the moment.
We're going to have a big mass Friday evening at the Yakima Sun Dome at 7 p.m. and another mass at the Yakima Sun Dome on 3 p.m. on Sunday. So that'll be a chance for folks to come to the celebrate and remember, the Holy Father, as well as our celebration of the Sunday Eucharist.
So the masses at the Sun Dome will be bilingual for those who attend. And Governor Tina Kotek of Oregon and other governors across the state and across the country have ordered all flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of the Pope. The directive comes after a proclamation by President Trump. The flags will remain at half-staff until sunset on the day of Pope Francis's funeral. 5:14, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Our temperatures cooling down, maybe a little bit. But I think we're still in for a pretty nice day today. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth We'll break down what you need to know as we make our way through the week in your First Alert forecast right after the break.
Did you know Astria Health has the only team of neurosurgeons in the Lower Valley? Patients no longer need to travel long distances to receive the spine care they need. Patients with spinal tumors, stenosis, herniated or degenerative disc diseases, spine trauma, fractures, or spinal cord injury can be seen by an Astria neurosurgeon in Prosser, Sunnyside, or Zillah. Ask your primary care provider for a referral to one of our neurosurgeons. Astria Health, exceptional rural health care close to home.
In 1997, my father-in-law, John Ramsey, started this business.
We took it from 2.5 acres. Now we're 22 acres.
What separates us is you're not just a number when you walk in the door.
Professional, on time. They answer all my questions.
If you're looking for a high-quality trailer at the right price, this is the place.
It feels like a home away from home.
I can guarantee when you buy an RV from us, you are part of the Broadmoor family.
At Broadmoor RV,
we make camping fun!
Do it all with Steel Battery. Double your runtime. Get a free extra battery with select Steel tools. Shop in-store and online.
Spring is in the air, so let's fill it with music. At Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos, our New Beginnings spring used piano sale is in full swing. From charming uprights to grand statement pieces, we've got gently loved pianos at prices that'll put a spring in your step. Each piano is expertly tuned, ready to play, and waiting for you. Spring into new beginnings today at Dickerson's Tri-City Pianos in Richland, because life's more fun when you know how to play.
I'm Eduardo Morfin. Morfin Law Firm thanks you for 5 years of support. Remember, when choosing an attorney, select a local attorney that supports your local community.
It's the mother of all giveaways, where one lucky viewer wins this awesome Mother's Day collection. Check it out. Enter to win each day on the contest page at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. From Jewelry Design Center, The Flower Bar, Curve Appeal, Fiction, and AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Helping sturgeon survive in North Idaho. Fly the Northwest tonight at 6. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yesterday was another fantastic day out there, and today is going to be just the same, except this time the winds aren't going to be nearly as big of a factor. They'll still be out of the north and east, around 20 to 25 miles per hour for the Blues, the Foothills, and the Cascades, but that's about it. Other than that, normal high temperatures for late April, and we'll have plenty of sunshine out there, so get out there and enjoy it if you can. And then for tonight, clear skies, overnight lows down into the 30s for lower elevations. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little bit too warm to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing, at least for lower elevations. Of course, that could be a bit of a different story up in the mountains. High temperatures, again, pretty seasonal for today, pretty seasonal for tomorrow, even though we'll actually be 2 degrees above average. But by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, we'll be pretty close to 10 degrees above average, and then cooling off for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And this cool off doesn't happen for no reason. That coincides with some shower chances going up specifically for Friday and Saturday, trending drier for Sunday and Monday. But this storm system is going to be an interesting one. First of all, there will be these little chances of thunderstorms for the foothills and for the mountains. In terms of rainfall we're going to pick up from this, though, not much at all. Maybe 0.3 inches for our Blue Mountain passes, maybe 0.3 inches up in the Cascades, and that peak time frame would be from 5 p.m. on Friday evening to 5 in the morning on Sunday during the wee hours of the morning. So all that being said, this is not going to be a very wet storm system. The snowfall that we could see at pass level is going to be pretty minimal. The biggest impact from this storm system is going to be in the form of some very gusty winds, especially in the Kittitas Valley. It's a little bit too early to show you some of those estimations, but just know we'll have more to say about that a little bit later this week. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Warmer with plenty of sunshine through Thursday, then turning cooler with small shower chances into Friday and Saturday. In Yakima, beautiful and warmer through Thursday. Small rain chances Friday and Saturday, then dry again by Sunday. In Ellensburg, a fantastic stretch of weather through Thursday. Small shower chances Friday and Saturday. Very windy Saturday and Sunday. Again, more to say about that later this week. In Hermiston, sunny and warming up until Thursday. Small rain chances Friday and Saturday, then dry weather returns for Sunday. Then for Walla Walla, comfortable and sunny over the next few days. Small shower chances start Friday with some thunderstorms even possible on Saturday.
All right, thanks so much, Josh. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Celebrities from around the world are reacting to the death of Pope Francis. How Hollywood is paying tribute to the Holy Father. That's coming up after the break. It's 5:20.
You've probably had a few close calls in traffic, seeing someone just before they see you, having to honk your horn, or even slam on your brakes. But if your luck runs out, don't gamble with the system. Play it safe and get legal help.
We have a very special bond, I think, as a family. Spectrum is the connecting thread to everything we do.
It provides us with reliability, lightning speeds, and allows us to do what we need to do in our lives.
From school to homework to entertainment, Spectrum's the perfect match for me and my family.
Fast, reliable internet starting at $30 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep you connected.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
At Bruce Heating & Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating & Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Now through June 30th, receive rebates up to $4,500 off on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating & Air.
Now's the time for a great deal on the new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline.
Closed head and spinal injuries can bring anyone's active life to a sudden halt. Allen Brecky Law Offices help trauma victims on the road to recovery. We understand what you're going through and are serious about helping you.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back, 5:23 in your entertainment news this morning. As you can imagine, Hollywood is reacting to the death of Pope Francis, with stars and public figures all sharing their condolences and memories on social media.
From heartfelt tributes to moments of reflection, the loss is being felt far beyond the Vatican, even in the world of entertainment. So for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Melissa Dunn.
Hollywood is reacting to the death of Pope Francis. In a statement to Variety, director Martin Scorsese, who met with the late Pope several times, said Francis knew in his soul that ignorance was a terrible plague on humanity, so he never stopped learning and he never stopped enlightening. Scorsese joins Whoopi Goldberg, Russell Crowe, Jimmy Fallon, and others in paying tribute to the Pope, who died at age 88. The Academy has laid out some new rules ahead of next year's Oscars ceremony. All Academy voters will now be required to watch all the nominated films before voting in each category, which hasn't been a formal rule until now. The Academy is also adding a new award for achievement in casting.
I honestly can't wait to be a part of your family.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Elijah Wood are joining the cast of Ready or Not, Here I Come. The horror sequel follows up the surprise hit Ready or Not from 2019.
The Empire cannot win.
Season 2 of the Emmy-nominated series Andor has started streaming on Disney+. Diego Luna returns as the titular Cassian Andor, a rebel fighting the ascendant galactic empire. Ben Mendelsohn joins the cast for Season 2, which will drop 3 episodes a week for the next month. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
Here's Johnny.
And it's Jack Nicholson's birthday, known for everything from Easy Rider to The Shining to Batman. Nicholson is one of only 3 actors to have 3 Academy Awards in his cabinet. Jack's 88 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
What a legacy he's left in the movie industry.
Yes, and Heath Ledger did such a great job with that Joker role that you forget how good he did with the Joker role as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's a testament to both of them, really.
Yeah, and happy birthday to him. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in our next half hour, the search is on for a new Yakima County coroner after a recent resignation, what the GOP is looking for in their candidates. Plus, it's Work Zone Safety Week, and with accidents on the rise, experts are urging drivers to take extra caution. Our Dan Hansen will have more on that. But first, here's your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Google is fighting the Justice Department's attempt to break up the company. New hearings are aimed at deciding Google's punishment after a judge ruled that it held an illegal monopoly dominating online search. Google claims breaking itself up would hurt American consumers. Next, social media app Blue Sky is launching blue check verification. Much like Twitter's old blue checks, Blue Skies will verify that notable accounts are legitimate. For now, Blue Sky is working with a select few organizations that can verify accounts as members of their team. And finally, a new device from Motorola Solutions combines a first responder's body camera with their radio communication. The SVX is meant to reduce the number of devices officers carry. The company says it's meant to be paired with its new AI platform called Assist. Surely this technology is warranted. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Let me see my new granddog.
Say hi, Grandma.
You're feeding him Blue Buffalo, right?
No, we got Purina in one. It's all the same stuff.
Not really. Blue Life Protection Formula's got deboned chicken, chicken meal, brown rice, oatmeal, barley.
Well, Purina One has chicken, rice flour, corn gluten meal, whole grain corn, chicken byproduct meal.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Switch to Blue and feed your dog like family.
Upset stomach? Iberogast. Indigestion? Iberogast. Bloating? Iberogast. Thanks to a unique combination of herbs, Iberogast helps relieve 6 digestive symptoms to help you feel better. 6 digestive symptoms, the power of nature. Iberogast.
Get the same trusted Lysol disinfection that now has a scent that'll make you move. Effortlessly kill 99.9% of germs with new Lysol Brand New Day Lavender. It'll leave a scent you'll love.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest, I'm Jade Elliott.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
And is cash with Colbert on the rise?
Yes, it is. We're up to $175 now, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Our 3-degree guarantee, sponsored by our dear friends at the Legends Casino and Hotel. Yesterday, I went with a forecast high of 72 in Pasco Tri-Cities and a verified, actually this is outdated information, so I'll have to update this graphic, but just know the forecast verified, the jackpot's up to $175, and I'm going with a forecast high of 65 today in Pasco Tri-Cities, so we'll update those numbers here shortly. Anyway, now let's pivot to visibility, as it is tough for Interstate 90 and for US Highway 12, so if you're traveling up in the Cascades for this morning, just be sure to use the low beams and to take it real slow. But elsewhere, visibility is looking a-okay. Now on to temperatures, as we do have that freeze warning that's in place for the valleys, also for the foothills of Walla Walla and Umatilla counties. That runs until 9 a.m. So in terms of the current temperatures for right now, it looks like we're below freezing in Yakima. We're pretty close to freezing in places like Hermiston and Pendleton. So in those areas could be a little bit frosty. And of course, we could maybe run into that up in the mountains as well. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast for today for the Tri-Cities. Lots of sunshine, high temperatures getting up into the mid-60s, which is pretty normal for late April. That means low 60s in the Kittitas Valley, mid-60s for the Yakima Valley and Lower Columbia Basin, also low 60s in the Blue Foothills. And I'll take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Josh, thanks so much. A quick response from Kennewick firefighters likely prevented a much bigger disaster after fire broke out early Easter Sunday. Crews were able to stop an apartment fire before it spread. It broke out at the Seasons on 4th just before 4 a.m. Firefighters arrived to find the roof over an apartment entrance on fire. Crews quickly put the flames out and searched for any hot spots while police helped secure the scene. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the cause of that fire is still under investigation this morning. And a busy Monday for Benton County Fire District 1 crews. Crews arrived just before 1 p.m. yesterday to a fire at Greenbrier Rail Services in Findlay. When they got there, they found a sandblasting structure filled with smoke. The fire was contained to a collection bin on the outside wall. No one was hurt, but they do say that the fire seems to appear suspicious. And shortly after that, crews responded to a controlled burn that got out of hand, damaging some property. Responders reported this fire on 1:40 p.m. This was on Joshua Court. That fire started in some landscaping bushes and then quickly spread, destroying an outbuilding and damaging part of a home. The property owner was treated for some smoke inhalation on scene. Fire officials are reminding residents to double check burn restrictions, monitor weather, and never leave a burn unattended. 5:31 now, and lawmakers in Olympia are moving forward with a sweeping tax package aimed at addressing a multi-billion-dollar budget shortfall. But one controversial proposal is now off the table for now. Over the weekend, the Senate passed several revenue measures, including hikes to capital gains and estate taxes, closing some tax loopholes, and expanding the sales tax to cover computer services. Well, Democrats say the new funding is essential to keep state services running. Republicans argue that the change will hurt working families. Meanwhile, the House was set to debate business tax increases and a school funding bill. But as first reported by the Washington State Standard, a plan to raise the cap on property tax revenue growth was removed from the bill.
We have to modernize the tax code to keep up with the economy so we have the resources we need to provide for public schools, health care, public safety.
We are sending an unmistakable signal to folks who are interested in investing and building our economy to create an economy that raises everybody's votes.
So the budget has to be passed out of the legislature by Sunday. The governor says he is hopeful that things will end on time, but he's okay with things taking a few more days to get a budget that meets his priorities. 5:32, and this week is Work Zone Safety Week, and it's coming at a time when crashes in work zones are actually on the rise. Washington State Department of Transportation saying more and more drivers are hitting washed-out workers, and the numbers are pretty alarming. Our Dan Hansen has the story.
Between 2023 and 2024, crashes in work zones jumped 36%. In Benton and Franklin counties alone, more than 100 crashes, and across Washington State, 5 of them were deadly.
We're always, wearing our personal protective equipment, like our vests and hard hats.
Matt Wilhelm's been with WashDOT for 13 years, and while he says he's been lucky to avoid close calls, working just feet away from fast-moving traffic keeps him alert all the time.
Our maintenance guys deal with that every day. Us in construction side, we don't deal with it as much as they do on a regular basis, but that's always something that's a little scary.
This summer, Wilhelm and his team will be busy. WashDOT is starting several projects, including work on the Umatilla Bridge and improving the 240 corridor.
We're doing some widening there, and like I said, we just started working there. We're constructing a noise wall there adjacent to the Moon River RV.
Depending on funding, WashDOT averages around 3 to 10 projects a year. This year, 4. And with each one comes a warning: pay attention. A phone call, a text, distractions are everywhere, and all it takes is 1 second for everything to change. Trooper Daniel Mosqueda with Washington State Patrol says distracted driving is a major factor, and it's getting worse.
More people on their phones being distracted, and that's one of many distractions that we're seeing. Year to date, the Washington State Patrol has contacted 12,654 distracted drivers, and that's just year to date.
Speeding fines double in work zones, and Trooper Mosqueda says these rising numbers should be a wake-up call to protect lives, not just the ones working on the road, but the people driving them too. Reporting in Pasco, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Good reminders, Dan. Safety first. All right, 5:35 still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. It is Earth Day, and one local nonprofit is helping people make a positive impact year-round. How the Buy Nothing Project is changing the way we think about sustainability. That's all coming up after the break.
Helping sturgeon survive in North Idaho. Fly the Northwest tonight at 6.
At Smoke City for Less, we understand every smoker is unique. Explore our over 1,500 vape flavors and specialty curated selection of tobacco products. Your perfect flavor and blend awaits at any of Smoke City for Less 6 locations. Save your pennies. Smoke City for Less has the lowest prices. Find the best vape mods, batteries, kratom, and specialty products too. Our knowledgeable staff is always on hand to provide personalized recommendations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
Did you know Tri-City Lumber Company isn't just for contractors? We're your local source for decking, railing, hardware, and more, open to everyone. For over 30 years, DIYers and homeowners have trusted us for quality materials and expert one-on-one advice. Now, under new ownership, we're making it even easier to shop local and build better. Skip the big box stores. Visit Tri-City Lumber today on Clearwater and Kennewick, or call us at 509-783-3322 today.
When it comes to legal matters, you need someone you can trust. At Morphine Law Firm, we are sincerely grateful for the last 5 years of trust and support you've given our firm. Your trust and support have been a major driving force behind our mission for justice. We offer free consultations, and we may not always tell you what you want to hear, but we try to steer you in the right direction. We appreciate your continued trust and confidence in Morphine Law Firm.
Got a birthday coming up, celebrating a big win, or just want to gather the crew for a pizza and a good time? For decades, Hubby's Pizza has been the go-to spot for family, friends, and fun. Reserve your table and bring the whole gang. Kids, family, teammates, whoever loves great pizza and good vibes. Dig into your favorite pizza, hit up the fresh salad bar, and let the kids have a blast in the arcade. And if the party's at your place, no problem. Hubby's now delivers through Grubhub and DoorDash. A community tradition, a place to celebrate. Acquire the Hubby's habit today.
At US Cellular, you don't have to choose between a great deal on the phone you want and the phone plan that's right for you.
You can get both. 4 free phones of your choice and 4 lines for just $90.
Wow, kids, that's like us not having to choose between tickets to wrestling or that puppet musical.
We want a great phone and a great plan too, don't we, little guy?
Get both. 4 free phones of your choice plus 4 lines for $90. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
Tonight on ABC.
You could still feel the murder in the house.
Why would you murder 2 innocent women? What would possibly be a motive?
Could the murder somehow be tied to interest in the occult?
Bad Romance. Tonight on ABC.
With all the worry about the cost of everything going up, is now the time to save more or the time to buy? And what about your job? Is now a good time to look for a new one? This week, GMA's Rebecca Jarvis has the answers to your money questions on Good Morning America.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. I just wanted to give you some of those updated, accurate numbers on the 3-degree guarantee. Yesterday, I went with the forecast high of 66 in Pasco Tri-Cities. It verified at 65. The jackpot went up to 175. So for today, I'm once again going with a forecast high of 66 in Pasco Tri-Cities. So if it verifies between 63 to 69, the jackpot's going to go up to $200. If that doesn't happen, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win the jackpot by going to applevalleyNewsNow.com, clicking on the contest page. You can scan the QR code on your screen. Glad we got that squared away. Now let's take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast, starting off in Kittitas County. where we're going to have plenty of sunshine in the Kittitas Valley, more clouds up in the Cascades, a little bit breezy up in the Cascades with winds out of the north and east. And then in the Yakima Valley, mostly sunny skies, highs in the mid-60s, a very pleasant day. And the lower Columbia Basin could also have some winds out of the north and east around 25 miles per hour, but otherwise mostly sunny, highs in the mid-60s. And then for the Blue Foothills, also getting temperatures in the low to mid 60s, will be down into the 40s and 50s for the higher terrain of the Blue Mountains, places like Cabbage Hill, Battle Mountain, Ukiah, so on and so forth. Now let's talk about the big picture, the seasonal snowpack deficits and surpluses we're tracking for all of our basins. You can see in the upper Yakima Basin and the Natchez Basin, these are in the Cascades, snowfall deficits, snowpack deficits. But in the Blue Mountains for the Umatilla and Walla Walla Basins, we're seeing snowfall surpluses, kind of yin and yang there. And we do have a storm system that's on the way for this weekend. Doesn't look like we're going to get that much snow, but a little bit of rainfall. I'll tell you how much coming up in a few minutes.
Hi, Josh. Thanks so much. 5:40 now, and today is Earth Day. It's a day to focus on environmental issues, and a lot of communities will be hosting conservation events to mark the day, and one nonprofit is hoping to make the environment cleaner year-round. It's called the Buy Nothing Project, and it was started right here in the Evergreen State. Apple Valley News Now's Nicole Stewart explains how it works and why it could save you some money.
Millions of tons of waste end up in landfills every year in the U.S., according to the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA estimates Americans throw out about 5 pounds of trash every day. And that doesn't even include the garbage that ends up in our oceans.
We found that there were a lot of plastics washing ashore with every single high tide.
Liesl Clark was living in Bainbridge Island, Washington, when she noticed just how much trash was ending up on their shores and wanted to do something about it. In 2013, she and her friend Rebecca Rockefeller launched a local Facebook group where neighbors could reuse and share items.
Post here and say what you're going to the store to buy and see if your neighbor might have it.
It's called the Buy Nothing Project. Clark says it's since grown to 12 million users in communities all over the world. Here's how it works. Communities create a private Buy Nothing Facebook group just for people who live in that area. That's where you can post items you no longer need, blenders, kids' rocking chairs, clothes, and see if one of your neighbors wants it, like this person who's giving away picture frames. If you're interested, you comment on the post and coordinate the exchange. Those items don't end up in the trash, and it helps a neighbor save money.
There is a power in togetherness and sharing.
You can also ask neighbors for items you're looking for, like this parent who wants a bike for her daughter. Multiple neighbors responding, offering their old bikes.
They're connecting with their neighbors. They come for the stuff. They stay for the community.
That community connection seen through posts like this one. A parent giving away this stroller that she says she received and enjoyed from this group and now wants to pay it forward. Nicole Stewart, Apple Valley News Now.
At 5:42. Still much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Giving you that live look outside this morning from our Legends Casino Hotel Sky Camera at Richland's Columbia Point. Beautiful look over the mighty Columbia with the paddle boat at Howard Haven Park. When we come back, we have your morning sprint and everything you need to know as you head out the door this morning. And Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will be back with your full First Alert forecast.
Hit by a big truck in bad weather? There's a law that says truck drivers have a legal duty to use extreme caution when driving in hazardous conditions. Hit by a big truck? I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Hi, I'm Rowdy with Total Energy Management. For 40 years, we've been keeping the Tri-Cities comfortable with top-notch heating and air conditioning services. We take pride in delivering exceptional service and unbeatable deals. Right now, you can save big with up to $4,900 in rebates and tax credits on a new Carrier heating and cooling system. So turn to the experts at Total Energy Management to ensure your house is the perfect temperature year-round. Visit TEMINC.com or call 946-4500 to learn more.
The Y Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
The Silverado Trail Boss.
and a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers get 2.9% APR for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $5,350 total value on this Silverado. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $3,000 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
It's all about winning and saving on Lucky Number Tuesday at Buy-Mart. Just by matching your ending number this week, you can win a 16-quart Sterilite storage box. Plus, buy it for only $3.99 with Tuesday-only pricing. Win and save on Lucky Number Tuesday only at Buy-Mart.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
Hit by a big truck in bad weather? There's a law that says truck drivers have a legal duty to use extreme caution when driving in hazardous conditions. Hit by a big truck? I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Wendy Redmond, Austin Reed, Stacy Lee weather. Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Yesterday was a beautiful day, and it's just going to be an extension of that for today, except the winds aren't going to be nearly as big of a factor, although we'll be a little bit breezy with gusts out of the north and east around 20 to 25 miles per hour in the Blues, in the Blue Foothills, and also up into the Cascades. Other than that, plenty of sunshine and normal high temperatures for late April. Then for tonight, clear skies, light winds, overnight lows down into the 30s. So for lower elevations, probably just a little bit too warm to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, or the plumbing. So for today, like I said, normal-ish highs for this time of the year will technically be a few degrees below average for this time of the year, technically a couple degrees above average for Wednesday. But by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, we're going to be about 10 degrees above average, and then cooling off to more seasonal values for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And that happens for a reason. That's going to coincide with shower chances going up, especially for Friday and Saturday, trending drier for Sunday and Monday. But for Friday and Saturday, could even have some thunderstorms getting into the mountains and the foothills. But in terms of big time impacts from the storm system in regards to rainfall or snowfall accumulations, we're just not going to see that. Maybe upwards of 0.3 inches of rainfall for the Blue Mountains, at least at pass level. The same thing for the Cascades at pass level, likely less than 1/10 of an inch for lower elevations, maybe getting upwards of 1/10 of an inch for the Blue Foothills of Morrow County. But that time frame would be 5 p.m. on Friday to 5 in the morning on Sunday. However, we will see some big time impacts from the winds, especially for Saturday and Sunday in the Kittitas Valley. It's too early to show that forecast. We'll probably show that for tomorrow, but just know that should be on your radar. That's going to be the third weekend in a row that we've seen very windy conditions in the Kittitas Valley. The odds of that happening are, well, I can't calculate it on the spot, but they're low. Okay, here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Warmer with plenty of sunshine through Thursday, then turning cooler with small shower chances into Friday and Saturday. In Yakima, beautiful and warmer through Thursday. Small rain chances Friday and Saturday, then dry again by Sunday. In Ellensburg, a fantastic stretch of weather through Thursday. Small shower chances Friday and Saturday. Very windy Saturday and Sunday, like we were just talking about. In Hermiston, sunny and warming up until Thursday. Small rain chances Friday and Saturday, then dry weather returns for Sunday. Then for Walla Walla, comfortable and sunny over the next few days. Small shower chances start Friday with some thunderstorms, even possible on Saturday.
Now, the morning sprint.
5:48, now your morning sprint and everything you need to know, starting with your local stories. A suspect's in custody following the deadly shooting that happened over the weekend in Yakima. Deputies responding to a shooting Sunday on the 1500 block of South Keys Road. An 18-year-old taken to Yakima Valley Memorial Hospital later died. Investigators identifying the man on your screen right there, 21-year-old Israel Barriga Vargas. He was the suspect. He was on the run until he surrendered at his home just yesterday afternoon. He's now in the Yakima County Jail facing second-degree murder charges. And a Fox Island man is now in custody after the death was originally reported as a suicide. Later was determined to be a murder. Deputies responding early April 20th after a 29-year-old man called saying his girlfriend had taken her life. Deputies arrived onto Fox Drive and they found a 27-year-old woman dead at the scene. And after a thorough investigation, detectives found evidence that didn't align with a suicide. The man has been arrested and is now facing a second-degree murder charge and is being held at the Pierce County Jail. And there's now an open call for candidates to fill the vacant county coroner position. Yakima County's Republican Central Committee made the announcement just yesterday. It comes just days after the former coroner stepped down. GOP is now seeking qualified applicants to be considered for the role. Candidates must live in Yakima County and be registered voters. Anyone interested can submit a letter of interest to the Yakima GOP Chairman Matt Brown. And this week is Work Zone Safety Week, and it's coming at a time when crashes in work zones are actually on the rise. Washington State Department of Transportation says more and more drivers are hitting WSDOT workers. Between 2023 and 2024, crashes in work zones jumped by 36%. In Benton and Franklin counties alone, there were over 100 work zone crashes. Across the state, WSDOT says 5 of those were deadly, 36 caused serious injuries. And across the state of Oregon, Governor Tina Kotek has ordered all flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of the Pope's passing. The directive comes after a proclamation by President Trump. The flags will remain at half-staff until sunset on the day of Pope Francis's funeral. 5:51 in your national headlines this morning. An engine fire on a Delta Airlines flight forcing passengers to evacuate by emergency slides. It happened just yesterday morning. FAA saying the Atlanta-bound plane had just left its gate at Orlando International when flames were seen in an engine tailpipe. Flight crews helped the 282 passengers off the plane. Delta apologized for the incident and said it would help customers get to their desired destinations. No injuries were reported. And it all comes as a critical aviation safety system is getting an upgrade ahead of schedule. Trump administration says the FAA, their Notice to Airmen system, also called NOTAM, will be replaced by September. NOTAMs are bulletins with critical safety information all pilots must read before flying. Now, the current system failed twice in the last 3 years and was scheduled for replacement by 2030. Transportation Secretary saying that the new system will make air travel safer and more efficient. 5:52 in your business headlines this morning. Walgreens has agreed to pay the government $300 million to settle an opioid lawsuit with the Justice Department. The pharmacy is alleged to have illegally filed millions of invalid prescriptions for controlled substances. The company then sought payment for many of those invalid prescriptions through federal health care programs. If Walgreens is sold, merged, or transferred before fiscal year 2032, the pharmacy would owe the U.S. government an additional $50 million. Airbnb is making a change to its platform. It will now show the total price for your booking, including fees and taxes, by default. This marks a change from the default displaying prices based off the nightly rate. Airbnb says it's a part of the company's commitment to affordability and transparency. The changes come ahead of a new federal regulation about junk fees that are set to go into effect on May 12th. 5:53 in your health headlines this morning. The Trump administration plans to take action to remove artificial food dyes from the nation's food supply. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Food and Drug Administrator Commissioner Marty Marquet are planning to share more about the administration's plans today. The FDA announcing in January that it had banned the use of red dye number 3 in food, beverages, and ingested drugs. Trump administration planning to take action on a broader set of petroleum-based synthetic dyes used to make food and beverages brightly colored and more appealing to consumers. And according to a new report, cancer death rates in the U.S. are declining, but diagnosis rates are increasing for women. The report showed a steady decline in overall cancer deaths from 2001 through 2022. The rate of diagnosis among men fell from 2001 to 2013 and then stabilized through 2021. But among women, the diagnosis rate increased slightly every year between 2003 and 2021. All right, 5:54, talking sports this morning. Seattle Kraken making a change behind the bench. The team announcing that it had parted ways with coach Dan Bylsma. General Manager Ron Francis thanked him for his commitment over the past 4 years, including time with the Kraken and their AHL affiliate. He led Seattle to a 35-41-6 record this season after being named head coach in May of 2024. The search for his replacement is now underway. And former NFL star Shannon Sharpe is facing a lawsuit accused of multiple instances of assault, sexual assault, and sexual battery. Lawsuit was filed just Sunday by an anonymous woman and her attorneys. In the suit, a Jane Doe accuses the popular host of the Club Shay Shay podcast of, quote, manipulating and controlling her during a nearly 2-year period. Excuse me. The woman says it all began as a consensual relationship when she was 20 years old, but now she's accusing Sharpe of a violent sexual assault and rape in October of last year, and again in January of this year. 56-year-old Sharpe, through his attorneys, saying, quote, he categorically denies all of these allegations. All right, drones can now help deliver supplies on Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain. 2 drones from Airlift Technology, a drone mapping startup, can safely transport about 44 pounds at a time. They can carry ropes, ladders, life-saving medical equipment. They can take it all to a glacier between the Everest Base Camp and Camp 1.
See, I was thinking smaller. I was thinking like ordering a pizza up there, but
that too, I'm sure.
That stuff seems a lot more practical.
Well, it just depends on your situation.
Yes, of course. Well, it takes Sherpas, the local climbing experts, 6 to 7 hours to make the same dangerous journey, but it only takes the drone about 6 to 7 minutes. That's a really big deal because it makes climbing for Sherpas a lot safer and will likely save lives.
Yeah, the drones will help Sherpas transport equipment before the 2025 season starts and then pick up trash once it begins. Each drone costs about $70,000.
Pocket change.
That's wild. Those Sherpas, that's a whole nother level of commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like one carrying all my kids' stuff around, but I'm not doing it on Mount Everest.
Yeah. Not for the faint of heart, not for me either.
No, exactly. All right, we still have much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. When we come back for our 6 o'clock hour, talking about the world preparing for Pope Francis's funeral and local communities reflecting on his legacy. We're going to let you know how people right here at home are honoring the Holy Father. Plus, a drug trafficker with ties to the Tri-Cities has been sentenced to prison. What investigators uncovered, that's all coming up in our next hour. And Josh, giving you that live look outside this morning from our Yakima Federal camera here at the Apple Valley Studios in Kennewick. What are you tracking for today?
Yeah, we're warming up as we head into the rest of this week. Then some more unsettled weather for this weekend, including some more winds for this week. That would make it the 3rd weekend in a row. So we'll talk about all that coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.